correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. The setting of this campaign, Origin, is inspired by West African cultures, histories, and aesthetics. None of the players, and certainly not myself, have lived experience or even ancestry from that part of the world. While Origin is part of the canonical setting for Exalted, I've drawn on real-world West African traditions to help bring the setting more fully to life. This isn't meant to be an accurate historical or cultural portrayal, and it is definitely not a commentary on any real-world nations, peoples, or beliefs. One key difference is theological. While Timbuktu and the surrounding regions were deeply shaped by the arrival of Islam, Exalted has its own divine and mythological structure that plays out very differently. My hope is to approach these inspirations with respect and care, and I welcome feedback if I fall short. In the session notes, there will be a short list of resources to learn about the real history of West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you. All right. I guess we can start playing then. So, Little Bat knows where it is. He can't go into the meeting. He's read into the conspiracy, but he's not privy to conversations among the actual council.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, he gives you some sort of social advice.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you'll be offered coffee. Accept it, don't drink too quickly, and don't reach for the pot yourself. They'll test you with words that seem to mean something else. If you are clever, show it, but don't mock them. If you are strong, show restraint, not pride. Don't make promises that you haven't thought through. They will remember. And if they press you and you don't know what to say, tell a story, even if it's your own. That's a language they understand.
Interesting. I thank you. And may want to tell your friend to stay out of sight for a while.
If he nods. So it's a building that is owned through a series of shell companies by one of the members of the council. And the first floor looks like an ordinary warehouse. The second floor has a small meeting room with lamps, windows that are slits, and thick walls so that it can be safely secure.
Mm-hmm.
Nashan Mazari, Little Bat's uncle, meets you, and he takes you up the stairs and over there, and he says, and he gives you some more specific advice. He says, there's 3 of them, and listen to who goes first and who speaks last. The order matters. Don't offer solutions before you understand the shape of the problem. What they say is one thing, what they fear is another. If Rafiq supports you, use it, but carefully. He is not a shield, he is a ladder, and others resent that he has climbed as high as he has. Javed will look at your weapons before your words. He doesn't want speeches, he wants proof that you can move food and steel through the desert. And Saida, if she tests you, it means she sees value. If she dismisses you, we've already lost.
What was the second one there?
The second person?
Yes.
Javed, Javed. He doesn't want speeches. He wants proof that you have thought about moving food and steel through the desert.
I think at that, look at it. So are you saying that we need to have a solution for supplies now?
No. He wants to know that you think of such things. He wants to know that you don't believe that simply raising a sword will be enough to win a war.
Oh, yes, okay.
He's a very pragmatic man. He husbands his resources, and he uses them with care and caution.
Proof of forethought, essentially. Okay.
And an understanding that this is a complex topic that we discuss.
Mm-hmm.
That there will be no simple solutions or slogans that will change everything. They know what you are. I have told them that much.
Well, that would manifest itself sooner or later, regardless.
And he nods. So you guys are invited, are brought into the room. There's a central table with a coffee pot sitting on a brazier, small cups. I mean, we're talking like Turkish coffee or Arabic coffee, if you've had that, more than like American Joe. There are cushions around the low table, and there are 4 on one side and 4 on the other. They were obviously expecting Parviz. And you're invited to sit. And there's a moment, and then one of the older, distinguished gentlemen picks up the coffee pot and begins serving coffee to all of you and all of his fellow council members, and finally himself, before placing it down. Ben, what are you doing?
And we'll take the coffee, but it's obvious that it's not easy for him to restrain himself. He's kind of like trying to take like a little sip, which probably looks a little ridiculous for him to do.
Yeah, the coffee is rich and dark, spiced faintly with cardamom and clove. The council members don't have any conversation while they're drinking coffee. The silence kind of stretches.
Mm-hmm.
And when the cups are empty, one by one, the counselors turn them over in their saucers. I assume you all follow suit?
Yeah.
The Finn's likely to be the first one to come over.
The distinguished gentleman that poured the coffee speaks first. His voice is calm and smooth. And he says, "You've saved my son, and in doing so revealed a hand of gem in our city. This earns you gratitude and concern. Foreign poison in a foreign man's mouth. And now, more foreigners at our table. So tell me, will you raise your hand? Whose justice do you serve?" Before anyone has a chance to speak, the woman, which you know is Saida Harun, she doesn't wait for any answers. She says, "You glow like old stories and fallen emperors. I've heard tales, madness, crowns of fire, armies that bled nations dry. Now you sit at our table. We are told you can help. Why should you believe you wouldn't try to rule us once we're free of Jam?"
So I think there's a bit of a pause here, at least for Cyclone, and then to say that I do not seek wealth would be false. However, wealth in and of itself is nothing more than a pile of sand. It is a means to do things. Wealth in and of itself has no value. It is only useful when you use that wealth to accomplish things. I have no desire for personal power. As to why we intervened in the matter earlier, a child being pursued by someone who meant him harm did not sit right. Our intent, actually, was simply to allow the boy to disappear into the crowd. Things escalated when my companion and I were attacked.
Saida rolls her eyes slightly and says, "And the other two? Do you speak for them, or do they speak for themselves?"
I speak for myself, as every person should.
And just kind of looks over and it's like, it didn't sit right. Boy running through the crowds, every child can make a mistake or do something not supposed to. Doesn't mean you get someone chasing them with pig stickers or whatever it was he was holding in his hands. As for taking over or ruling, that doesn't sit right either. Every man, every woman should be able to make their own choices. That's what where I come from. That's what we believe, and that's how I believe.
And Saida snorts slightly, spoken like someone who's never had their dreams auctioned off by smiling men with clean hands. And what about you? Gesturing at Jen, your character.
I have no desire to rule over anyone. My dreams and goals do not lie in subjugating humans, bending them to my will. My presence here is in search of knowledge, and I happen to be the one who found, who diagnosed the particular method of this person's demise.
That is excellent.
Perhaps.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
No, they never would have interrupted. And if you're still talking, please finish your thought.
Honestly, I don't know if she would get the joke. So I probably. No, I would have left it there.
Okay.
Because I was going to make a joke about, if you were a library, you might have more to worry about. But the particular library in this city comes with too much baggage.
Rafik nods thoughtfully and says, "Good hearts are a gift, but it's sharp minds that preserve them." Javed, the third member who has not spoken, says, "We have heard of what you don't believe in. What do you believe in? Why do you offer your considerable abilities to our cause?"
Well, I, for one, do not believe that people, government and structure are necessary. Subjugation is entirely another matter. From what I have gathered, Rankar and Gem now take double what your city used to take as its tax on commerce, etc. Again, taxes are taxes. However, Rankar is also allied with and I forget the name of the tribe that began with a J.
Ibuki?
Yeah, the Jabuki, who are known to slave trade, which is something I simply will not abide.
You see Javed's, one of Javed's eyebrows go up, but he doesn't say anything.
I believe that, as it was explained to us by, blanking on the uncle, but Steve is not remembering his name.
Sean.
That it was described that at one point, Origin was first among equals, as it would seem it should be. those who have made it not so do so on the backs of those who have no choice. And that is my problem. Or my issue, I guess, is probably the better word.
So, Javed says, how do you envision aiding us?
Your goals are to bring back the blessings of the gods and probably to reduce your taxes, correct?
Rather more than that, but yes, that is in the outline.
And it is your belief that if a more equal status is achieved, that the blessings of the gods will return. Am I also correct in that?
There's a pause, and Saida says, I think that it's considerably more nuanced than that. If we drive out Jem, we will be masters of our own fate. We will not be subject to the whims of a man from another city. I don't know what the gods want. I'm not a priestess. But it is true that Matsingala has not spoken in many years. But whether a revolution will bring that about, I cannot speculate. And he just sort of, and Rafik speaks up again. The reasons that we have come together are varied and complex. But we are agreed on one thing, which is that the domination of Jem, by Jem, of the trade routes, of our economy, and of the mercenaries that guard our city must come to an end. That the ways and means that we have at present are the coin. We are not in a position to fight a war. Nashan thinks that there's a possibility that you might change that equation significantly.
You're going to need an army. If you overthrow the mercenaries or push them back, Jim will come back. They obviously came here once. They're not going to just give it up. Do you have in mind a military or a force to defend yourselves once they're done?
Indeed. Driving them out will only be the start of the battle.
And Javad and Rafik trade glances, and you can just immediately get the vibe that they have had that conversation at length. And Rafik says, a blade cuts once. A coin, properly spent, cuts forever. The method I have advocated is to bring Jem to its knees economically, without ever resorting to open violence. Some of my colleagues feel that the admixture of violence into the equation might hasten our victory. And let's just say that Jem is not the only kingdom is not the only city that has money and contacts among mercenaries, among the folk of the desert.
Do you wish to continue defending do you wish your defense to be relied on mercenaries then?
One hires a professional for a specialized task, does one not?
Professionals go where the coin's thickest.
Precisely. Currently, Jem controls your purses in a way. How would they then simply not pay the mercenaries more?
He says, that has been a point of contention, which is why we seek economic pressure to begin with. But we will not settle an argument that has taken much time of this council tonight with 7 people instead of 4.
No, no solution. No problem of this scale will be solved in a mere evening of discussion.
I think that I appreciate your sincerity, and that there's a possibility that you will learn the political nuance and the economic realities. And for this, I am willing to extend the hand of invitation to our dubious company. We would provide you with resources and information as you desire it, to the best of our abilities. And in return, we would call upon you for tasks that are more within your purview than mine. I don't ask you to appraise and buy a plantation. He looks at Finn and says, your specialty is war, as I take it. Violence.
I've been in a brawl or two.
And he looks over at Cyclone and says, you speak well, idealistically, but well. But what skills do you bring to this alliance?
I move in shadows. I am good at not being seen. Some
Excellent.
have called what I do thievery, but I find that a very primitive term.
I don't mind a thief as long as he's pointed at my enemies.
All good commerce runs underground as well as above.
And he looks then over and says, and you, lady, what is your specialty? What can we count on you to do?
I can beat death back from the door. Those who are injured, I will care for them.
She nods and says, that's a very useful thing to have. I think between the 3 of you, we have certain options. I understand your friend could not make it. What sort of things could we call on him for?
Okay, out of character, I don't honestly know tremendously what Parviz is, other than he's a scholar.
Yeah, so I would say he's a scholar, an orator, and he can whip up crowds. He can convince people in a one-on-one, heart-to-heart. He's very good at leadership and inspiring people. And he can shout at you so hard that you die.
Which is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Saida says, I think that you may find reality to be more complex than your ideals. But I too think that this is an arrangement worth making. You will learn or you will not. And she just sort of shrugs. And Javed says, I think that we need to discuss the substance in further detail later. But I would agree that there is potential here. I also approve of this. And Rafiq Albaz says, excellent. Then it is unanimous. It is decided. We shall welcome you, aid you, and search out ways to use your talents. But if you walk in shadows, then your first task for us and for myself will be to find who dared send an assassin after a boy. Or more to the point, who dared send an assassin after my son.
Well, some of that information we may have. We were able to learn that the conversation your son overheard that precipitated all this appeared to happen between what seemed to be a merchant from Gem, what seemed to be a local woman, and, as the third person was described, a person of the desert. We also learned that the would-be assassin was in the service of Gem.
This strongly implies that at least one of those three, if not all three, were agents of Gem. For who else could command an assassin loyal to Gem, to go after the person who overheard a conversation?
Indeed. Now, with that, and I will look at my companions here, kind of with that, do I proceed with information kind of look?
Then,
We have...
Sorry.
No, it's okay. And now I can't find my notes. So we have a name that it would appear, whatever that gem merchant was, from the Gem Cutters Guild. Mm-hmm. Whether that is another client of this person or in any way related, we do not yet know. However, we found records this would-be assassin was keeping that, when combined with the bits of conversation overheard, I suspect someone is about to do something a bit more drastic than your plans. Somewhere, we believe, in the Ivory Road district, there is someone doing business under the name of Rufan Warehousing. He's been paid well for the use of a warehouse, and a substantial sum was paid to the Red Fang for, quote, delivery insurance to what we believe is a shipment of firewands. Now, either there are those among your movement who grow impatient, or violence may no longer be an option for you because it will already be in effect.
They look a little disconcerted, and Javed says, it's not like Gem to coordinate shipments of that sort of weapon to someone as an excuse to crack down on them. That's not their style. But I will put out my feelers among the people of the caravans. I have connections in many places. And Sayida says, I will have some of my people do as thorough an investigation on this Madhu Jarek as we possibly can. Although his store is surprisingly well guarded, it may take someone of more talent than I have available to burglarize the place, find any records that might be relevant.
I think we know a talented individual.
What's that?
So I think we know a talented individual.
I think at that point, Cyclone just smiles.
There's much nodding in agreement, and Rafik says, I think that we have come to what conclusions we can. We will speak again, of course. And he just sort of nods, and you guys are led. You guys are escorted out of the meeting by Nashan, and he says that went better than it could have. I think they think that you are a bit more idealistic than they would have preferred, but... And he shakes his head. I think we have the basis of a basis on which to move forward. Do you agree?
Would seem so. Ideals, yes. But with the knowledge that ideals are exactly that, and that we all should know not to expect our every ideal to be met.
Excellent. So, where are you guys spending the night? 'Cause you've got the caravanserai, you've also got the caravanserai, and you've got the boarding house rooms now that are available.
I feel like at least one of us has to go back to the caravanserai, because otherwise Parviz won't know where to find us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Um,
I wonder what exactly took him the entire day. Dun dun dun.
I think Finn would go to the boarding house at very least, since he rented the room to begin with.
Okay. Alright. And would Wonderful Cyclone like to engage in some illegal search and seizure, perhaps? Breaking and entering?
Reappropriating.
I think, are you asking in terms of, do I want to go break into the gem guy's place tonight?
Yes.
Or just, I think it bears scouting at least. Because if they get wind of everything, stuff could disappear in short order.
Mm-hmm.
I think we start off with at least a scout of the location.
Finn would agree because he would bring up that a dead assassin is likely to start making people jumpy.
True. So yeah, I think we at least head that direction.
Alright. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, doing a reconnaissance, there are actually armed guards overnight, which is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like I said, there's armed guards there at night, and your best guess is that the easiest way to get in would be to get onto the roof and then go in one of the upper story windows and go from there.
Mm-hmm. So roughly how high is the roof?
Maybe 24, 25 feet up.
Okay. Is this a structure like in a townhome row of structures? Are there alleys?
No, it is a building. It's a separate building that there is not much room between the next one in the block, so to speak.
Okay, and guards are basically front door, back door?
So the compound has a fence, or the building has a fence around it, guards towards the front, and then one that roams around the house.
Okay.
In the back, there's I don't want to call it a loading dock because it's not, but it's a larger opening for bringing in bulky items, but that one is likely barred from the inside during the night because it's not being guarded.
Okay. So, I mean, I have monkey leap technique, so getting to the roof is...
Trivial for you, yes. We'll spend 2 motes?
Yes. And I'm looking, I know I have something I can do that will actually, mask my anima even if I'm doing stuff. If I would need to do that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing it.
It's just 2 motes, so it won't up your anima anyway.
Oh. So, I mean, I think we'd probably have maybe Fen kind of get in a spot where he can, or Fen and Saelen in spots where they can kind of watch things, or even if we can use the bird. And then I can basically just jump onto the roof, from what I'm understanding. I'm assuming the fence
Oh, yeah.
isn't immensely far from the building.
No, it's not. It's not like hundreds of feet or anything like that. No.
So how do moats regenerate? Because I mean, I've spent a few through the course of the day.
5 an hour outside of combat. So you should have regenerated pretty much up to full.
Okay, yeah, I only spent 4 in total. It was like 2 on each of the investigation rolls. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll spend the 2 moats to jump onto the building. And then, was there actually like a roof access door or stairs up to the roof from inside?
No, well, yeah, actually, a lot of these buildings, you know, the roof is where you spend time. You know, the roof at night is where you spend time because it's cooler up there. So, yeah, that's there.
So I think, yeah, basically just cautiously sneak down into the building and see what I can find. You know, I'm not looking to overtly burgle anything of value, although taking something of value to cover what I really came to take might be a thing.
So, what you've got is, I mean, it looks like it's an ordinary place of business. There are the cut and uncut gems are kept locked up. They're kept locked up, and there's a surprisingly low amount of products actually in the building. However, you do find the business office with ledgers and shipping manifests.
Okay. And those very quick appear to be the legitimate shipping manifests, etc., for the business, correct?
What's your... Do you have any bureaucracy?
I don't think so. Hang on. Find the right... No.
Okay. Bureaucracy is the skill you'd need to really figure out whether this is legit or not.
I was thinking more in terms of you're probably not going to keep your dirty books out in the open.
Right. It seems to you that it's a little bit sparse, and that the ledger entries don't add up to don't correspond to the shipping manifests.
Okay.
In several cases.
As in, he should have more product, or
As in, yeah,
he's paying for more product than he's getting.
It's both are occurring, as near as you can tell. There doesn't seem to be a real pattern to it. But you're fairly sure that what he's putting in his ledgers is not what he's actually getting. And you don't know whether the ledgers or the shipping manifests are the lies.
Okay. So I think at that point, probably just going to end up taking... Boy, I want to do something. So I want to look around for another hidey hole. You know what I mean? Like loose floorboards, that type of... See if there's something else. I feel like I need to take the manifests and the books because I don't know enough to know what I'm looking at. So I need to get those to someone who does. So I think I want to take those. I want to look for something where, you know, investigate for a spot where stuff is hidden, and then at least make it look like someone somewhat but not incredibly skilled tried to break into the locked up gems.
Ah, yes. You're gonna deliberately scratch up the locks and...
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm not opposed to stealing something so that something got stolen, but more so I want to make it look like, damn it, I couldn't get into this, well, I'm taking this instead.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to set that scene.
Okay, so if you want me to make any rolls or anything, just let me know.
That would actually be a wits plus larceny roll to basically create false evidence.
Okay, so let's do that. And so you said if we're spending out of personal, it doesn't trigger your anima?
Correct.
Or does it still depend on
Nope. Personal never triggers.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 there. All right, 6 success.
Okay, well, that is going to be the difficulty of anybody's investigation roll to figure out what actually happened.
Okay.
Translation, they better be an Exalt too.
And you know, at this point, yeah, probably kind of trash the place, you know, a little bit. Again, more like the frustration, like you said, setting it up, and then back up and out.
All right. So, are you going to try to take those ledgers to someone tonight, or are you going to... Okay.
Well, not necessarily tonight. I'm taking them. I'm sorry.
All right, so tomorrow morning.
Probably, yes.
All right, cool. All right, so that kind of wraps up that day, and it's 8:01, and so I guess that's kind of going to be it for the game session. And I'm going to... All right. Everybody gets, of course, the 5 XP, but then for Exalted XP, everybody did perform to their role. And yeah, so you know what? Just call it 5 XP for Exalted XP.
That brings us to 7, correct?
Because
we had 2 before?
No, that can't be right at all. It should bring you to 10 regular XP.
Right.
And if you had 2 before, that would take you to 6.
Okay, I thought you said 5. Maybe you said 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should that be in total Exalted XP too?
Okay, yes. So your total XP and total Exalted XP always go up. It is how many XP have you earned in this game, whereas your current XP is how many XP do you have that you haven't spent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.